Princess Eugenie was seen wiping her tears away during a vigil in honor of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II today. The Queen's granddaughter couldn't hold back her emotions as she stood in Westminster Hall alongside her husband, Jack Brooksbank, and Zara and Mike Tindall. Queen's funeral guest list in full, all the royals and world leaders confirmed so far. Westminster Abbey's 2,000-person capacity is expected to be filled to honor Britain's longest-reigning monarch next week. The event will be one of the largest diplomatic occasions of the century, and the guest list is expected to include politicians, world leaders, and European royals. See the guest list in full here. Standing in two rows at the side of Westminster Hall, the royals were joined by Lady Louise Windsor, Viscount Severn, Lord Freddie Windsor, and Princess Michael of Kent. The King and the senior royals saluted the coffin as it was carried by a bearer party, 8 soldiers from Queen's Company 1st Battalion Grenadier Guards, into the hall. Lined up to watch were also the Queen's elderly cousins Prince Michael of Kent and the Duke of Kent. Next to the Duke of Kent was the Duchess of Sussex, the Countess of Wessex, the Princess of Wales, and then the Queen Consort. Read more. Meghan and Prince Harry hold hands as they leave Queen lying in state. Eugenie was seen wiping tears away. Image, timrook/rex/shutterstock. Princess Eugenie was emotional as she stood alongside other royals at the vigil. Image, timrook/rex/shutterstock. Princess Eugenie was emotional and couldn't hold back her tears. Image, timrook/rex/shutterstock. Meghan appeared to take a deep breath as the Queen's coffin passed in front of her. 4 officers from the Household Cavalry, 2 from the Life Guards and 2 from the Blues Royals, began the first 6-hour vigil around the coffin, taking their places at the corner of the catafalque. A double tap on the floor from the stick of the officer of the watch, who has command of the rotations, signaled the start of the vigil. The soldiers had processed down the steps into Westminster Hall ready for their duty. Don't miss, Meghan and Kate Middleton stand side by side at service for Queen. William motion to Meghan spotted in very poignant moment. Touching moment. William comforts Kate after Queen's lying in state. Senior royals stood in front of the Queen's coffin inside Westminster Hall. Image, Getty. All you need to know about the Queen's funeral. Key moments. Queen Elizabeth II's state funeral will take place on Monday, September 19 at Westminster Abbey at 11 a.m. Following the state funeral, the coffin will undertake a procession from Westminster Abbey to Wellington Arch, and then on to Windsor. Once at Windsor, the state hearse will undertake a procession to St George's Chapel, Windsor Castle via the Long Walk. A committal service will then take place in St George's Chapel, with the Queen laid to rest at the King George VI Memorial Chapel. Will it be televised? The Queen's funeral service will be televised across BBC One, BBC News, and on BBC iPlayer. Sky News will also broadcast the funeral on its TV channel, Freeview, the Sky News app and via YouTube. Royals stood inside Westminster Hall where the Queen will lie in state. Image, timrook/rex/shutterstock. Trending. They navigated the route carefully in their cumbersome uniforms of breastplates, plumed hats and swords, taking a pause before each step. The King stopped to speak to the Archbishop of Canterbury as he left, with Archbishop Justin Welby nodding as he greeted Charles, with the pair sharing a few words. The King saluted as he departed, with the Earl Marshal, the Duke of Norfolk, who is in overall charge of the ceremonial arrangements including the funeral, nodding and smiling in response. Princess Michael of Kent was seen holding a stick as she stood in Westminster Hall.